Hi, this is Majanoni, and last night we went to the Crypt and Asylum haunted house. This is located at Fiesta Mall on the outside in the parking lot by the Best Buy side, and it's located at 1445 West Southern Avenue in Mesa, Arizona. There's multiple pricing points, so I would check their website for rate fast pass and group rates, but you're looking to spend anywhere between $15 to $23. Now, the first one we went into was the Crypt. Now, the Crypt had a really great beginning. It looked like a mausoleum entrance. There's like statues, some of them move, and I was like, wow, that was really cool. Unfortunately, once we got in there, illusion was ruined, and then things went downhill really quick from there. Now, once you get past the first room, the first thing you're going to notice is a fence. And then, for us, we happened to see another group walking past it. They're laughing a little bit, having a good time, smiling, and I'm like, you don't want to see things like that inside a haunted house. You don't want to see somebody smiling. And then past them, you can also see what's going on and, what's coming up. And I'm like, that completely ruined the illusion. Wall it off. Don't be cheap and use a fence. Now, after that, I don't really think that they got the crypt or mausoleum idea down because, it didn't feel like it. Granted, they threw in lots of skeletons, lots of statues, but it didn't really feel like a place of where the dead rest. The actors, though, they did a really decent job. They ran around. They tried hard to scare you, but it's pretty much just all the jump gotcha scare. They really didn't put forth a lot of effort into other things other than just that. They did have this really interesting idea where walls kind of shifted around a little bit, so the person at the end becomes the leader. And I thought that part was kind of good, especially since a lot of haunted houses don't do things like that. I thought that at least took a little bit of creativity to come up with something like that. Now, if you're concerned about getting wet in a haunted house, be advised there is a hose in here, and it just shoots you with a jet of water for apparently no reason. Now, the thing is, for me, it doesn't matter as much, but there were other people who were complaining about it, and the actors kind of got really defensive, calling it skeleton pee, and they're basically saying you just better take it. And I thought that was really bad customer service in that sense, because if people are complaining, you could at least try to acknowledge their concern a little bit, but I understand you got to stay in character, and you can't just break down and, oh, we're deeply sorry that you were offended or feel that way. So I get that part of it, but still, it kind of, for me, it was just kind of like, well, why are you doing this when people are complaining? The other thing that really broke the illusion for me was at the very end, there's like movie monsters. And it's not like they're in costume, it's just basically statues of them. And I'm like, somebody just went to the store, bought some statues, threw them in there, and it made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And for me at least, I don't think they did a good job at conveying this crypt or mausoleum type atmosphere. The next, we went into the Asylum. Now, the Asylum, the guy who took your ticket did a fantastic job. He tied in all the rules to how they relate to patients, and he really immersed you into it. You can tell somebody spent some time coming up with some lines, and because it really showed. Now, once you get in there, the thing is, it doesn't. It's like, for me, it was like 50-50 in that you were actually in a mental asylum, in that you got to see patients' rooms, and some of those rooms were really well done. The actors in there, they were doing a good job. I wish that they were a little bit more aggressive at times, but I mean, by aggressive I don't mean touching you, but play a more insane character. But other than that, they did a decent job at immersing you into that. Um, One part I didn't really like was there's like a closet. It's an L-shaped closet, and it just goes on and on and on. Let's put it this way, women would be jealous to have a closet of this size. That's how long it is. But the thing is, it's not really scary. It's a transitional piece, but when was the last time you saw a closet in a mausoleum, in an asylum? You really don't see that. And to have it being such a long piece to it kind of ruined that part. Um, One thing I also thought was it needed more rooms that you might find in an asylum. Well, they do add some extra rooms besides like the patient rooms, but it really needed more things like a nurse's station. Heck, I mean, I wanted to see more nurses. I wanted to see more doctors. The one thing I didn't want to see is clowns. And guess what? There was freaking clowns. I don't know why. I mean, I guess somebody might say, you're insane because clowns go to hospitals all the time for the children. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but you had a whole section of clowns. And I'm like, oh, it just, nobody in Arizona seems to know how to do clowns right because they're just carbon copies of each other and they don't even do good makeup on top of that. And it just irritates me to no end. And I'll be honestly speaking here, the bulk of the clown section really wasn't that scary. There's a part, which I'm not going to ruin, where I can tell people are going to get a little freaked out by it, because I thought part of that was really well done, but it didn't have to have a clown involved. That was the thing. Other than that, though, I thought the Asylum was better than the Crypt. It it got closer to being more immersive into an environment than just kind of just doing something random. The one thing I'm going to tell you to avoid, and it's very rare when I ever warn you about something, do not spend any money on the Chaos Maze. It's a fun maze. That's your clue that you're walking into trouble. It is not worth $3. Basically, what it is, it's these big vinyl sheets, and there's red and white, and all you do is you walk in and you try to figure your way through it. There's an actor in there who's like a clown. I thought he did a decent job. I thought he was a little bit on the amusing side, but it's not scary. Um, Potentially you could get frustrated maybe because you just can't figure out your way out, but it's really boring. That's the key thing. It's just freaking boring, and it really added no value whatsoever, and I would seriously recommend just don't even go there. um, I've not seen anything worse than that anywhere in my haunted house travels, and that says a lot right there. Now, this haunted house, it looks like it's designed more for a younger crowd. So if you're, older, you're probably not going to be scared. You might not get the same enjoyment out of it because I think, like the teenagers, that's who's really going to jump and be more affected by the gotcha type scares. Um, Overall, I'm like a mixed. Half of it I thought it's on the verge of being something really cool. The other one, the Crypt, it needs it needs a makeover, a serious makeover. Um, so that's the best I can offer you in terms of your enjoyment value. But like I said, if you're younger, you'll probably definitely like the Crypt, and you'll probably think I'm being stupid because all it is just the gotcha scares, and if that's what you're looking for, that's completely in there. Anyways, that's my review for the Crypt and Asylum. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video, leave some comments below. I really want to know what you guys think. Which did you think is better, the Crypt, or do you think the Asylum is better? Let me know, and I'll have more reviews later. So until next time.